On the way down to Mission Beach, we passed a sign that said Fresh Barramundi, and I didn't think much about it at that time. But as I drove by, I noticed that there was actually a pond in there, so I decided that I would pull in and take a look. Turns out that this was actually a Barra farm. Ryan, the owner of Barra Downunder, told me that even though he doesn't advertise, he allows people to fish in the ponds for $50 an hour. It's all catch and release, of course. However, if you decide that you want to buy the fish, it's available at market price. There are three main ponds. One of them contains fish in the 1 to 2 kg range, and the other two contain larger fish. Did say though, it would be harder to catch fish out of those two ponds. All I had with me was my saltwater gear, which was pretty heavy, but I decided I would give it a go. It did soon become apparent that the popper I was using was too large, as I kept getting hits but didn't hook up.
Getting a few hits?
Yeah, popper's a bit too large.
Yeah, oh, that's alright.
Not to worry.
They'll still have a go.
I decided I would give the other two ponds a go before I swapped my popper out for some soft plastics. Unfortunately, I didn't get any hits. I went back to the car and rigged up a soft plastic and gave the first pond a go. Turns out that Ryan had an order for fish on that day, so he went around telling the people who were fishing, if you catch anything, he's happy to put it into his cooler for the order. So do you want this for your order?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll keep him, yeah.
Yes. Up.
Ooh.
Up. At ponds like this, a 2 to 4 kilo rod would be perfect. only thing about fishing in heavy weed cover is that you have to clear your line every now and then. So what I decided to do was head over to the other side and give that a go. The fish in these two ponds were a lot larger. However, they were also a lot more cautious and the hits were few and far between. The hits on this side were definitely slower, considering the number of casts that I made in these two ponds. After a few minutes of casting, I decided to head back to the first pond and at least hook up to a few of the smaller fish in there before my session was up. I tried retrieving the plastic in different ways, but the go-to method down here seems to be a slow retrieve. The fish here seem to react best to this method. Still looking for fish?
Actually, yeah, I'll keep him. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I've been throwing them back.
No,
I
that's
caught a
fine.
few.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, no, that's all good. I think
Okay.
our nest full.
Alright, let's see what happens down here. Barra tend to like white water or where it's disturbed, where they can lay in ambush. Not too bad. Good spot. Good fun, good fun. Now that's good fun. One more here. The camera doesn't show it, but I could see the fish following the lure, but it was hesitating to strike, so I gave it a little twitch. I have to say, the barra in this pond will bite very consistently. I think I got a hit 7 out of every 10 casts. It was really, really good fun. I just needed some lighter gear. Take note though that this video is edited because the crank rate required to get these fish to bite was very, very slow. I only had a few minutes left in my session, and on hindsight, I should have re-rigged earlier, put on a slightly larger plastic and a hook with a bigger gap, and put a little more effort working this pawn, as I actually had a few hits in these last few casts. Another thing that I should have done was I should have trimmed the leader back a little bit to get rid of the frayed edges. And unfortunately for me, this cost me big time. Watch on. The fish here definitely reacted best to a very, very slow retrieve. Ah, bit me off. Well, that was the end of the session. And I must say that it was really, really good fun. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Some people say that it's not the same as fishing out in the natural estuary or in the ocean, but I'm only here for a few days and it's hard to identify the areas which hold fish during that time. Fishing here was extremely satisfying and would have been even better if I had lighter gear. Take a look at this leader. If you're in the Mission Beach area and want to wet a line and try your hand at barra fishing, don't hesitate to give Ryan a call at Barra Downunder. In my opinion, it is money well spent to get yourself into some barra.